session now about from tracks to highways using edge IoT to get more safety into our infrastructure in transportation. Let's first set the stage and look at the actual problem that we face. So in traffic situation in general, we encounter lots of things. Roads have a certain complexity, rail tracks are complex. There is a lot of elements that might be a disturbing factor and actually a safety issue when using our roads. So greenery growing into the streets, onto the tracks that have to be removed. Or potholes, defects in the road itself. It could be safety barriers where a structural integrity problem exists that needs to be identified. Very important, bridge connections, joints, might have obstructions in them. And it's very important to understand when that happens. That's a very severe safety issue. So we want to know about this. In time, there is traffic signs everywhere, in construction sites and in normal traffic situations that might be placed wrong and have to be corrected as quickly as possible. And then there is one hidden thing in everything we touch. And if we say now thin ice, GDPR and being safe with the data that you use, especially if it's visual, makes quite a bit of challenge here. So that's another thing that as part of a solution needs to be resolved. This presentation now is about an actual deployed solution with a highway organization that maintains the highway infrastructure and requires an automated way to reduce the time it takes to discover an issue to the point where you react on that issue that is in the road infrastructure. So let's first look at the different elements in this. So the two companies here, one of them focusing on AI at the edge, the actual application, the models, the very specific answer to a very specific question, and the company that provides the underlying IoT, edge IoT infrastructure into this. So Eurotech, and we have a booth here in the AWS stand, is providing the plumbing for this structure, for this whole solution. It means it is the edge AI hardware at the edge that with enough computational power is able to deal with multiple of these edge AI applications to run. The management infrastructure, the lifecycle management for it, as well as the cybersecurity aspect of it. So Eurotech focuses on making that plumbing as easy as possible. And making it as easy as possible means system integrators, end customers should not worry about the plumbing aspects. So that everything is in place, from the hardware support in software, the application frameworks that allow you to do the things that are repetitive in nature is something that is there. A security layer around all of this is another important aspect of this. Now with NIS2 coming to us, also these kind of solutions need to ensure a high level of cybersecurity ground up. So that's the piece that Eurotech looks at from this perspective. So in this picture, just to make sure what Eurotech does and doesn't, we do the hardware and the software building blocks required to create the IoT infrastructure. We don't touch the applications, we don't touch the sensors. We integrate them in the widest possible way. Now, the partner company we have been implementing this with together is a specialist in providing AI solutions at the edge to get a clear understanding, a proper understanding of the environment. And they do this from anything from micro weather to the kind of applications we're going to demonstrate here, to smart spaces that require very smart and advanced analysis of what happens in a video stream. So a part of their solution is a foundational element that actually enables all these features, and then very specific solutions and answers and features that do solve particular issues. And we'll see that in a minute. But as an example today, a passing service vehicle can also check whether safety measures of people, like helmets and jackets, are used in a proper way and action being taken. And that's a very simple one in that context. So, ARCO is the piece that builds the foundation. This is also where features reside, like an ability to create, at ingestion of the data, already a GDPR conformant data set that even in pictures has faces and number plates removed, so that whoever as a service supplier downstream is using the data, everything is correct from that perspective. So let's now look at how these kind of solutions work together in concert. In the middle, you see the infrastructure that is a piece of hardware. So for those that are interested, there is an industrial demo of AWS here with the bicycles. There is one system that is there for visual inspection. It is an automotive grade version here that is E-marked, that is sitting in the vehicle. It has an A2 in it, an NVIDIA A2, so that's serious computational power for a vehicle, but it's necessary if you have 6, 8 very high resolution, very fast cameras on the roof of the car, on the vehicle, and while you drive, you want to get these kind of analysis done. So the stack includes, as you can see here, an application framework, an operating system, all of this being properly managed, also from a security perspective. The system here, just a picture, again, is automotive grade. You just cannot take a data center thing and put it into a vehicle, right? So this is automotive certified with an A2 in it. And you can tell here is the NVIDIA A2 GPU as well. So the heart of this is an application framework. An application framework with native integration into AWS services. So AWS IoT Core, AWS IoT Greengrass, and we can also show a demonstrator for Sitewise, directly ingesting data into AWS at that point. Now, but the framework does a lot more. The framework is actually the piece that abstracts all the hardware away. So if we use the same set of applications on another device with another GPU, it would work. No difference, right? The framework is also the one that offers the integrators the ability to speak from an IoT perspective with all the assets that are there. Give an example, the CAN bus in this system we use. Also, a very high precision geopositioning system has to be used here to make these kind of applications work. So all of them are integrated using the application framework in the middle. And then all that application framework, including the connectors north and southbound, including the elements like a Triton server that is part of this, is integrated in that application framework in one no-code environment and has been taken with the hardware stack and the OS through an IEC 62443-4-2 certification. That makes that probably the only existing solution in the market that is cyber secure from that perspective, and that's a pretty, I think, impressive level that we are talking about here, with the full stack already validated. Now, this just to show a couple of the certifications that this system has. Coming now to the piece that WaterView adds to it. As we said, WaterView is the company that builds all the layers that relate to the AI applications out there. So in this case, you see applications where we look at bridge joints. That is what I mentioned before, a very dangerous situation in traffic when these bridge joints that you have because of heat, you know, the bridge is expanding and shrinking. You have these elements, these joints. If there is something in it, that could cause very serious issues, right? You see correct placement of safety measures where they exist. While the car drives and passes them, all this analysis is done in individual applications, even looking at structures like in bridges, right? Anything that is in a structural way. Are the lights okay? And where there is a problem, it's reported. Potholes, we said. Greenery. By the way, that's important in rail as well. We say tracks and highways. We are not allowed anymore to pull all this chemical crap out there to keep the tracks clean. Now you need to send a service organization at a point where the greenery becomes a safety issue. So you want to automate all these kind of things. And there's more examples here of the same thing. And the anonymizer, as I said, which is important to take the number plates out so that everybody else that is part of the process to then take on the repairs is already on the safe side from a GDPR perspective. Now, this is the picture of an architectural picture of what happens in the vehicle. So this is true edge AI, right? So it might be a bit of an anticlimax that this is not yet Gen AI, but this is a proper AI application, right? So we do secure model management, we do all these kind of things to the edge. And individual applications is what you saw before, analyzing these different aspects, right? Including the anonymizer that cleans up the data for number plates and faces. This, and I'm not going to talk to this in full length, is the integration on the cloud side. Then, of course, you do a lot of funny things with this kind of data that you get that way, and which comes in real time. So now, you have, for example, at the top of this, the exercise with the supervisor on the road maintenance manager that gets the incidents and is actually putting the teams in place to correct it. There is a system here to talk to the service vehicles in the road that actually get the proper advice and commands to then execute and recover the situation as it is. Remove the greenery, put the road signs in a proper order, and so on and so forth. So, the thing that really happens here, which is an amazing difference, is that usually the time it takes to discover an issue in the street, somebody telling the organization that services the motorway about it, until it goes through all that process to get somebody out to repair it and address it, usually took days. Now it's a matter of hours to get it resolved. So that adds tremendously to the safety of our transportation infrastructure. I'm not sure whether I'm now way too fast in what I'm doing. Am I? So it's these three companies together that built actually that solution, that make that a compact, complete system that does look at these kind of aspects in our traffic infrastructure. I would ask you, if you're interested, to see us here in the booth. Eurotech has a demo stand here. We do here electrification elements, but we very happily talk about traffic solutions as well. So challenge us on the solution. It is something in place already, I think, for 1.5 years now. So that's something that continuously delivers positive results for all of us in terms of safety on our roads. Thank you very much.